Okay, would everybody stand and we'll begin with our invocation and pledge. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for a beautiful Friday. We come to you today to wrap up a few things here in our budget process. We just continue to ask for your wisdom until the process is complete. We thank you for the employees that work here. We thank you for their families. We thank you for those that serve in this job. And we, again, just pray for wisdom as a Commissioner's Court. Just bless this community, Lord. Continue to rebuild our economy. Help us to find ways to be the most efficient that we possibly can with taxpayers' monies. We pray for our military. We pray for the celebration Sunday night that will be up here at the courthouse for the mothers of the military. We just ask for your watch, care, and protection and safe return for those men and women that defend our country. We pray these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to a special meeting of Commissioners Court. Today is September the 27th, 2013. It's just after 9 a.m. We will first start with item number 1, public comments and or requests for information on non-agenda items in accordance with Section 551.042 of the Texas Open Meetings Act. I don't have any forms filled out. Is there anyone that would like to make a public statement?
Hey, Judge, just one quick one.
Sure.
Tuesday night is the National Night Out for Texas, and I'm going to extend an offer for to use our SWAT van. It's got front and rear, so it's very comfortable. And if you guys would like to go as a group, get some of these block parties, we will use that van and do that if y'all.
Thank you. Thank you. Leonard?
I just wanted to let the court know that back in the summer when 3 of us went to school and I reimbursed the county for 2 of the people for 2 of us that went to school in Austin, I reimbursed the county $1,976 out of Chapter 19 fund to help with expense on the travel. And I'll just let you know, I appreciate your support in sending us to get the training we need to be able to carry the election out in the way it needs to be carried out. Thank you.
Good deal. All right, that's good news. Thank you. Anyone else? All right, we'll move along. Item number 2, adopt the 2013 and 14 budget, and we've got the tax rate right behind that. Obviously, the budget is a major factor on that tax rate. So if there's anything that we want to discuss, change, review, question on the budget for item number 2, this is yours and our opportunity.
Judge, I would like to add to the budget $50 a month for our employees, not the elected officials, but the employees of the county. Just a cost of living raise of $50 a month, and it'll be $600 a year for each county employee. And I'd like to put that in the budget.
Second.
All right. I have a motion and a second. Just to review, and I believe I know the answer to this, but I want to make sure everybody else up here knows the answer, that will result, in order for us to cover that without making any other changes to the budget, that will need about 1/2 cent of additional tax rate over and above what we had already talked about, which was previously about 41.02. And I know I'm talking tax rate here, but while we're on a budget.
41.02, that's correct. Now, you don't have to do it that way. You could.
We could do that and pay it out of fund balance. I guess we can discuss that topic in the next item.
The only other thing, Judge, that you and I had talked about, and I don't have that letter, maybe you do. The only other change to the budget that you and I talked about was putting some money in there for safety house. They had written a letter and asked if we could get them some money for the safety house. And I'm thinking, did they ask for $2,000 or 2,500, I don't remember.
2,000.
Was it just 2,000?
That's what
I honestly don't remember.
I can't find my copy of the letter, but I know you and I looked at the letter, and you kind of wanted to put that in.
I would like to do that. I would like to do that. Let's assume that it's 2,500, give us latitude up to 2,500. If their request was only 2,000, we can do that. I'm thinking it was 2,500. So that would be a second item. The safety shelter has asked, they've had some hits on their budget with some loss of some funding, so that would be $2,500 for the year for safety shelter. Back on the matter that has a motion before us, I just want to say that I think in past years it's always easier to just give a flat percentage raise, but I think that we've got to remember that those percentage raises can result in some inequality, and those who are on the higher end of the pay scale receive the bigger raises, and those on the lower end receive the lower raises. So if there is to be action taken, I do like the idea of a flat amount here, and I appreciate the fact that you've zeroed that in on the hired employees rather than the elected officials. I have a motion by Commissioner Fields, a second by Commissioner Hockaday to fund a $50 per month, $600 per year raise for all non-elected employees. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
No.
And I have one no. All right, thank you for that. We'll move right on into item number 3.
Judge, the only other question, normally, when we do give raises, the only people who get the raises are people who have been here prior to October, April 1st. Is that still intention of the court?
Yeah, I think that's, we always,
Well, let's don't alter that policy. Okay. Item number 3, adopt the 2013 tax rate. And again, we've proposed here 41.02. That was before you factor in a $50 per month raise. So here's where you need to decide how you're going to pay for that raise. Are you going to take it from fund balance, which means you better be prepared to take it from fund balance going forward unless you cover it today with an adjustment to your tax rate.
I'm gonna make a motion, we pay the raise out of the tax rate. I'll make that into a motion.
And that would result in a 41.52.
5-2, yeah.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Hockaday that the 2013 tax rate be 41.52.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Fields. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No.
And one opposition. Thank you. Item number 4, open and possibly approve bids for the sale of 2 houses and cleanup of property located on Highway 1402. This is where we are doing our Harts Bluff Road widening project, and Commissioner Riddle has been overseeing this, and we discussed what to do about these 2 houses that need to be moved before this work can begin. And so Commissioner Riddle has put out for bid, hoping to get somebody that will give us even a little bit of money, but hopefully get these 2 houses removed without costing us anything. Do we have any bids on this? No?
Did you get any?
No,
Did you get any inquiries?
got a couple, but they didn't act like they were going to bid, and they didn't.
Okay. Do you think the problem is the houses just aren't valuable enough to warrant moving?
The cost of moving it probably exceeds the value they are, is what one guy told me.
Now, I know Commissioner Hockaday, we had some houses down there, and the guy offered to take it. You know, just give it in the house. This might be an avenue we want to see if anybody wanted houses to move it, just to get it moved.
We can give them some,
Tear it down for you.
Or tear it down.
looks to me like we probably can get the movers to move, but give them to her. You know, just give them to
I talked to Mr. Hightower. He had such an inventory of houses right now, he wasn't interested in that. There may be somebody else, and maybe I can talk to him some more, and maybe he would reduce his normal fee. I was just hoping we were going to have a bidder to get the things
Would
going.
he take them if we just gave them to him? Why don't you approach
Well, I
him?
think that was the discussion. He said, I'll move them for you, but I just, I don't really need any more houses. I'm not personally interested. Now, if we say, yeah, we'll give them to you if you'll move them, that may change things, and I'll pursue that with him. If you'd
We
like.
just need to get them off where they can, when they get ready to do that, they can go ahead with the construction.
Commissioner Riddle, you and I can discuss this a little further, and we can look at some options, but it looks like now our objective is to get them gone at the lowest possible price rather than trying to get any money for them.
Well, TxDOT is going to give us a date to have it gone. I mean, it's not going to be a long time off, I'm talking.
30 days or so, probably,
Yeah,
I think.
that's what I'm looking at.
Okay.
I'm guessing now. I don't know that.
Let's see, how do we need to do it? Because we really need to act on this, because we're looking at 2 weeks before we meet again.
No, we're actually a little bit less. Well, no, you're right. We are looking at 2 weeks here.
Might give you the authority, if somebody wants them, to go ahead and get rid of them.
Yeah.
I'll let you know whatever opportunities we have, and if we can get them moved at the least possible price. Hopefully zero, but we'll see.
Put that in a motion. Huh? Do we need to put that in a motion?
You make it, I'll second it.
Allow you to do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
It's yours.
Can we put that in a motion so we don't have to meet again?
sure.
If someone will just remove them, they can have them for free.
All right.
Second.
And I like that in-
Motion by Commissioner Riddle that if we can find someone that will remove these houses for us at no cost to us and no cost to them, then we will allow that. And second by Commissioner Fields. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, and there are no opposition. Thank you. Item number 5, consider and possibly take action on the existing burn ban. And you heard my comments last Monday that Chief McRae does recommend that we remove the burn ban, and we probably would have acted on this earlier had we had it on the agenda, but we did not. Sheriff has not been enforcing this for this week, so now we need to make this official.
I make it into a motion, we move the existing.
Motion by Commissioner Hockaday and second by Commissioner Hinton that we remove the existing burn ban. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, and there are none. Item number 6, consider and possibly approve changes to the county employee life insurance benefit. Back a month or 6 weeks or so ago, we started talking about the fact that it may be time to revisit our existing life insurance plan that had been in effect, Tony, for how many years with that same company? Forever, since the dawn of time.
Forever. At first, Judge, we had a little policy that was 10,000, and then after we had a jailer who killed in an accident, it was just 10,000, really, just barely took care of the funeral. So
And where we are right now, we're capped at 50,000, even though it's how many times?
No, we're not capped at 50,000.
We're not.
We're doing one and a half times. Anybody that gets more than 50,000, we're having to add it to their W-2 as compensation.
So we do have some covered at more than 50,000? I don't think that's right.
We just cut it off. Okay, but we just cut it off.
It's 1.5 times or 50,000, the greater of. And you're going to discuss with us not only a new carrier possibly, but maybe some tweaks to that as well. I'm ready, thank you. Tony Melton from CAPS Insurance, our insurance consultant.
You've got a couple of things there in front of you. Didn't really know exactly where to start on this, so we'll just kind of walk us all through this. The other packet is something that I was going to suggest that we start doing for you with the addition of this life insurance, if you choose to do that. The first packet that says this is proposal from Guardian Life Insurance. Guardian is a partner that we have that we really like. We're able to get a lot of input from them, and they basically come up with a lot of different proposals here. If you look at open that to it says Plan 1, that is the proposal for the flat $50,000 for all employees, regardless of salary. That includes your retiree benefit. As I understand it, your retirees, they've got 28 retirees, and they get a flat $10,000. But one of the things that I've heard back and forth is that you don't know where your retirees are. They may not know that they have this benefit, and but it's here to continue if you choose to do so. Okay, so that is Plan 1. Turning the page, Plan 2 is just the flat $50,000 benefit for all active employees, no retirees included. Plan 3 is and it says 100% of salary, but this I did confirm this morning that it is 1.5 times salary up to a max of $50,000, and this does include your $10,000 benefit for retirees. On Plan 4 is 1.5 times salary for your active employees only. The other thing that is a problem, in my opinion, with your current plan is that while you do offer a dependent life package, which is quoted on all the plans that you see, the dependent life package that you currently have is $5,000 for your spouses and $2,500 for all children. This is at a cost of $1.68 per month to your people. You only have 16 people that have chosen this. I don't know whether that's because they've not been offered it or they've declined it. I don't know the reason for that.
Well, I think anytime somebody retires or anything, they do know they can carry this life insurance on their dependents or whatever.
No, the dependent life is only for active.
Only for active.
Yeah.
They may just be considered as not enough. I don't know when she does the enrollments if they remain.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know that because we've really not been involved at all in the life insurance administration because that was not part of our package to do the consulting work because we didn't even know really this all existed when we.
There's also life insurance offered
through Ron Fisher, and I did talk to Ron, and he said he did not care if you do this. What he does is you have to prove insurability for what he does. So everybody would have to go through the underwriting process. The good thing about this is the plan that I'm proposing you for your basic life is a guarantee issue benefit, meaning that regardless of how much you make or how old you are, you would have the benefit that we're seeing here. The other thing too, and I was kind of getting to that with the dependent life, you've got a dependent life package that true, it's only $1.68, but if you've got anybody that's got a spouse or child that does have health issues, it might be hard for them to get additional life insurance. So the last page of this proposal is a voluntary life policy proposal. It would allow the employee to get coverage up to $150,000 without answering any health questions on themselves. They could do up to, what is it? I believe it's $50,000. Yes, $50,000 to a spouse that is less than 65 years. Actually, the employee has to be less than 65 as well. And all children, regardless of health issues, could have coverage of up to $10,000. That would be something that if they wanted it, they bought it. If they didn't, they didn't. They would just check the box and they would have it. No medical questions, no calls, no problems with Christy, no anything for that.
But the employees pay for it.
Employees pay for that totally. Well, the
This says up to 75 on the sheet.
That's just the spouse.
Right, but you said 50.
Well, the guarantee issue amount is 50. They could choose up to 75. They would have to just prove medical insurability over that if they wanted to buy more than $50,000 on the spouse.
Okay, but then the other thing it says on that is not to exceed 50.
Exactly.
So if the employee's limited to 50, then they're...
Exactly, and that is just a rule that's pretty normal with most insurance carriers. So, example, if the employee chose $100,000 on themselves, the spouse could have 50. If the employee chose $50,000 on themselves,
But again, we're talking about additional insurance.
this is
The employee
over and
pays.
above. Yes, over and above, totally voluntary. Doesn't have anything to do with the $50,000.
Totally voluntary for the employee also.
Yes,
You pay.
right, yeah. I mean, you could choose $10,000 on yourself and cover a child for $10,000. I mean, and it's not per child, it's all the children in your household. Okay, so, and the child benefit is very, very affordable. It's like, what, 14 cents per thousand? So, at any rate, that is the, I think the issues that we have here are you going to continue your retiree program, and what is going to be the basis of the basic benefit? Is it going to be continue to be the 1.5 times salary up to 50, or are you going to go the flat? The reason a lot of employees or employers choose the flat 50 is what Carl's talking about. The tax implications are basically leveled out at that point. You can address that if you want.
Well, when we initially added this insurance for the employees, we just did it 1.5 times the salary, period. And so anybody over the 50, we were having to add that money to their W-2. We changed it to just stopping it at 50, which eliminated that problem. But we still have the second problem of anybody that, especially the sheriff's office, when they're always moving around, giving promotions.
Bookkeeping nightmare, because you're always having to make incremental adjustments. Anytime there's a pay raise, you've got to change all your insurance paperwork.
So, there were two problems with the original deal. One is they were only 50, we had to go through the trouble of adding the W-2s, and it was $3, $4, $10, small amounts, but you still had to do it. We eliminated that problem, but we still have a problem of every time somebody went from 32,000 to 35,000, we had to go through and recalculate all their stuff. So.
And probably one of the, I think even a worse problem than that is that your current contract, anybody over age 60 has to prove medical insurability. So you've got right now one person that has no coverage, correct? Because he didn't prove, he didn't get through the medical underwriting for Sun Life.
Right.
When do we have to make a decision?
Today.
I'd like to look at this.
Well,
Make some calls.
Well, I mean, could we talk about it at, if the meeting that we're having next week, is that?
yeah, well, let's maybe zero in on how wide of a variety of decisions do we really have here. Maybe the decision is not quite as difficult as we think. Let's boil it down here. Let me just make one more, bring to light again, one of the changes made here is now, we were previously at age 60, your benefits began to deteriorate, or 65?
At 60, you had to prove medical insurability, meaning that if your height and weight was out of whack, if you had anything wrong with you, they could reduce you down to what, the 20,000?
And did you get a notification from them every time somebody hit 60?
No, I haven't gotten any. It's just one-sided.
So somebody could end up, passing away at 62 years of age, and none of us even knew it. And instead of getting the 1.5 times their salary, that spouse is told, sorry.
And then we could pay it for it.
Yeah, and the employee could, on their optional also, they could pay for it.
Yeah, raising it up to 70 was a logical thing to do there.
What are you recommending to do?
I actually recommend that you keep it at a flat 50,000. My problem with the retirees is, according this is coming from Christy, you don't know where they are. You don't know when they die. I mean, you don't know when to take them off.
It's very hard to track all that.
And as inexpensive as it is to buy a $50,000 term policy these days without proving any insurability, am I correct in that, or is that not right?
No, on an individual policy, you still would have to.
Even
prove
at 50?
insurability. Yeah, you would. And especially as you get older. So.
I mean, if we're going to keep the retirees on, I think we would need to do something like, they've got to notify us where they are, what they're doing. If we don't hear from them, then we drop the coverage at the end of that year.
Maybe an annual
They're
update.
going to have to renew with us, for lack of a better term, because we need to be in contact with them and know where they are.
If they passed away?
Yeah. If we're paying for premiums for somebody that's not there anymore and they forgot to have it.
Well, can we set it up to where this begins to go away, that no more retirees are getting insurance, and at most we're only covering those that have already retired?
You can grandfather them in and change the rules if you want to, yeah. But even if you do that, we need to somehow get, I
Find out where they
Find
are.
out where they are and get something going, so they have to contact us at least once a year for us to know they're still here and where they're at. And that
Well-
reminds them they've got the coverage, because they may know they have the coverage, and nobody else there may know, so if something happens to them, nobody knows if they can go apply for that insurance.
Of course, it starts reducing at 70, and then 75, and 80, 85% of.
Well, I'm in favor of removing that benefit to retirees. I don't want to run into even one situation where somebody is left absolutely with no insurance, uninsurable, and really needs that coverage and has been expecting and planning on that coverage since they retired. In other words, that's something that, and we don't know what all those situations are. So let's,
If you were going to make a change, I would recommend you grandfather in it once, but they're still going to have to get with it.
well, then let's do that. Let's grandfather them in with the stipulation that if they don't respond to our requests by such and such a date, that they will be dropped from that policy. I mean, and that'll just be bookkeeping that we can do. Yes, you may.
Are you talking about the ones that's already retired?
Yes,
You are?
yes. I want to make sure I'm answering your question right.
What about me? If I go ahead and retire at this point, would I be grandfathered in?
No,
I would not.
you would not.
But I understand that all we're talking about is $10,000 coverage. It might pay for you, it's not the 50. When you retire, under the present rules, instead of getting 50 insurance, you're only getting 10 anyway. It goes down automatically. It's just hard to track some of them. We've got 28 over here. I don't know if we can talk to half of those people.
Really?
Last 5 years.
And some of them retired before I even came, so it's very hard for me to track them even though. I came in 97.
Well, we'll give it our best effort.
Also, Tony, on the 10,000 retirees, if that is 10,000, does that how?
She's recommending.
Oh, is it 8, is that 10,000 wrong?
And I believe it starts to reduce as well.
So we'll have to keep track of the retirees' age as well. So
Yeah.
so we're paying the right
It starts
way.
reducing at age 70.
They go to 50%.
Uh-huh.
Tony, would we keep, if we grandfathered them in, would we keep them under the old existing policy?
No, actually, and that brings me, that's a great segue. We have absolutely nothing to do with that Sun Life policy.
That's right.
Tax insurance can't talk to them.
Okay.
I mean, somebody from.
So we cut ties with Sun Life, and we go to Guardian,
Yeah.
but we still maintain the ability to drop a retiree that we can't find anywhere
Oh, sure.
from this
Yeah, I mean,
policy.
it would be just like you were terminating a regular employee. I mean, if there's an employee, as a retiree that is passed away, I mean, you would just, that would be the only reason you would terminate them, right?
No, if I can't find it.
Oh, yeah.
I can't, if I don't get any answers, I can't.
I suggest that we try to do this before the policy takes effect,
Which is when?
which is whenever you make it.
We're going to try for January 1st.
Yeah, that gives us 3 months to see if we can track everybody down.
Okay. I like that. All right.
Can I make one more
Yes.
point, though? We do not know who was getting paid.
Hey, Tony, can I put you on hold for just a moment? I've got one commissioner that has to be at another obligation, and I'd like to address a couple of these very quickly, and they'll just take a moment. I'm going to move on, put item number 6 on hold, go to item number 7, consider and possibly approve an environmental study of the vacant annex space before moving forward with demolition of that space. Mr. Basham would like for us to give him latitude to spend up to $4,000 for that environmental study. However, he thinks that it can be done for 2 to 3. He has not heard back from everyone that he wanted to hear back, so that is what he is requesting, is give him up to $4,000 to get that environmental study done on the vacant annex space. Motion by Commissioner Hockaday and second by Commissioner Fields. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And lastly, item number 8, consider and possibly approve payment of a pauper's funeral. Good news on this one, this obligation got taken care of. So they got, I spoke with Stuart Sloan, and somebody stepped up from a group of friends or family. I don't know the details, but they are not looking to the county for that one.
I had somebody call me and said they were trying to do that, so that's a good deal.
So we do not have to take action on that one. Item number 9, sign pay orders and approve payments. Motion by Commissioner Hockaday and a second by Commissioner Hinton. All in favor of paying these last few bills of the year, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And there are none.
Judge, there will be some bills from last year.
Yeah, but we've pulled together as many as we could. Yeah, and normally we would have saved this till the next meeting, but in order for them to get every bill they could get on here to clean out the year, that's what we did. Do you want to trust us with this life insurance decision? Do you want to try to call a vote? What would you like to do?
I think y'all can make that decision.
Do you have an opinion, just so we kind of know your opinion?
Just from what I heard, probably that number 2 would be.
How do you feel about the retiree issue?
You know, I hate to just cut the ones off that we've already retired, that it's got it, you know, we try to get a hold of them, maybe, but moving forward, I don't think we need to do that. That's just too much on them trying to keep us all.
So that eventually those filter away and we're not adding any new ones on there. Okay, how do you feel about $50,000 across the board? In other words, bringing those up at the lower salary level instead of 1.5 times, bringing them up to a flat 50.
That was the second.
No, I think that's actually available in several of these options.
Well, that would be what I.
You're okay with that, bringing everybody, capping the higher at 50 and bringing the lower up to so that everybody's on par at 50, okay?
That'd be what
I think those are the two major questions there. At least we've got a feel for what you are thinking. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, back to you,
Okay,
Tony.
what I was saying is that with what we have, I guess, realized after the fact was somebody at Health First is getting paid commission on this Sun Life policy and has been all this time. We don't know who it is, but that we were not given authority to basically speak or do anything with the Sun Life. So what we're recommending or proposing or asking, I guess, the other, I've given you something else that we usually do for most of our employees where we charge for it. I'm going to offer that we will provide this for y'all free of charge, but and actually take over the administration of the life insurance. We'll provide this. This is, in my opinion, a pretty beneficial book to your employees because it's got all of your different benefits in it. It's got your health insurance benefit. It's got some things that we need to discuss next week in the workshop for health insurance. But one of the things that Guardian will provide is a free will service as well as a free EAP plan for offering
EAP?
Employee assistance plan. So if somebody has financial issues, maybe trying to figure out how to pay for college, maybe have an elder parent they're trying to figure out how to help take care of, that is a free benefit they will provide. There's unlimited 24/7 calls that the employee can make and actually 3 face-to-face visits. But that is a free benefit that Guardian will provide, and we'll go in more to that next week during the workshop. But for us to be able to take care of the life insurance, we had Guardian remove all commission, so it's net commission is what you're seeing here. But we would ask that we raise our flat schedule exactly $2 to administer this and also to provide this benefit book to Christy. And we'll give her the PDF version so she can print them out for any new hires, but we'll print them out for all new people, for everybody at this open enrollment.
Yeah, understand that right now CAPS is charging us based on a flat fee per month per employee for what they're already doing. By adding the employee life insurance, taking it away from the previous carrier and putting it with Guardian, that does up the responsibilities and workload on CAPS, and they are asking for $2 per employee, which will be more than offset by the savings of premium commissions that we are paying to Health First or whoever. Okay.
That $2 a month, or?
$2 per month per employee, so $24 per employee per year.
Which one of these are you looking at, you think, in your opinion, would be suited for us?
Well, the option number one is everybody, the retirees that we have now, as well as the 120 active, which I know that number's maybe in flux, but that's what we had when we quoted it. And that's the flat 50,000. So that would be the annual premium for all of those things combined is the 21,179.88. That's the annual premium.
Is it show anywhere what we have been paying, just as a ballpark comparison of what we've paid, what we've been paying, and what we're getting ready to pay?
That's pretty close to what we're paying.
It looks like a wash to me.
They tried
Or
to.
pretty close.
I asked them to match it and really that is a better benefit. It's more volume because obviously there were some people that did not have that $50,000.
Yeah, you're bringing a bunch of employees up to a $50,000 level.
Right. Yeah, I don't have your current bill because again, I'm not your agent. So, but I think
Yeah,
it's really close.
I think Chris.
But, you know, to get back to this, where we have an employee and we can't find him, they have not contacted us.
Former employee, retired employee.
Retiree.
We can find.
Well, I meant retired employees.
Yeah.
You know, I think there should be some limit, because if something happened to them 3 years ago and we're still paying premium, that's not good.
Well, that's what we're recommending. We're recommending that we grandfather the ones in that have it now, but if we don't hear from them by January 1st, then they get dropped.
Chrissy, do you have addresses on everybody?
I think from the retirement report that they sent me, I think I've got addresses.
My suggestion is maybe let's send a letter to all the current people, those 28 people, and tell them that they need to give us an update of where they are, their current address, their status.
Maybe do a format for them to just fill out.
Yeah, have it maybe email.
And I think they need to do that annually. I think they need to
Right,
contact
and
us
do that
annually.
Yeah, and do that every year. I
But we'll
agree.
probably have to send them something every year.
Right, to remind them.
Okay. Okay, so that's Plan 1. That brings everybody to a 50,000. That gives us 70 years of age before those benefits reduce. That covers retirees at 10,000. We'll ignore Plan 2 since it does not take into consideration retirees. We'll look at Plan 3. The basic difference there, Tony, is
1.5 times salary, which we've really said, I think.
and so that we're going to disregard that because we already believe that. Well, I won't speak for y'all. That's if you want to go back to the.
I'd rather do the 50,000, just one flat.
Okay, so Plan 3 does not bring the lower tiers up to a flat 50,000. That's
Plan 4 is the same plan, it's only just active people only.
okay.
So really, your only two options to consider are 1 and 2 with the 50.
All right. Well, I'm going to attempt to put this in the form of a motion then and say that we go with Plan number 1 with the only modification to that being is that we begin effective January 1, if you want, or you can make it later, that any retirees after that date, and I'm proposing January 1 of 2013, any retirees after that date are not offered the 14, thank you, are not offered county life insurance after they are retired. But those that are currently covered and that we are able to make contact with and that agree to continue to stay in contact with us and respond to our annual requests will remain until they are deceased or until they say, I don't need that coverage anymore.
Or it stays down.
Yeah.
It does reduce at age 70 and age 75 and age 80.
Right, if it phases out based upon their age. Thank you.
I'll second. Is that a motion?
Yes, sir.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Riddle. All in favor of that, or is there any discussion? All those in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And there are none. Okay, thank you, Tony.
Judge?
Yes.
Real quick, did we vote on that, the safety house? We did,
Yes. Well, I was just putting that in the budget approval. I mean, I asked for you to approve that budget based on that
I
addition.
support it, I just wasn't sure if we voted on that.
Well,
Right.
it won't make any change in the tax rate. Let's, why don't we put that on a future agenda to approve that? Whether we do it or not, it's not going to impact the tax rate. And since it's not an agenda item, how much latitude do we have in authorizing you to adjust the budget for that $2,500 related to safety?
It's just a budget amendment. It can be budget amendment number
Okay.
one. Next court meeting.
So we can bring that to the next court meeting. Okay. We can put that on that next one to approve a safety shelter annual
Thank you, motion.
contribution. Let's discuss this meeting that we are proposing with CAPS Insurance next week. And the purpose of that meeting will be to discuss, why don't you kind of give us an overview? Commissioner Riddle is not going to be able to be here next week. If we've got a bunch that we need to cover, I don't want to leave him out of that discussion.
Well, here's our concern. Steve's leaving for Brazil on October the 7th, and he's gone for 2 weeks to a mission trip. We already have the renewal from UMR for next year's health insurance plan. It is really good, but we've asked UMR to do some tweaking on it to get it to where we think it should be based upon your utilization and your claims this year, which were excellent. So I've already given that back to Chris Kaplinger. I did that last Tuesday, and she was going to start possibly have another option for us by next week to look at. That was a little bit more in line with what Steve and I thought it should be. So that's why
Are we going to discuss any elements of the actual coverage itself that would be important for all of us to understand and know and have a vote on? Or are we basically looking at, hey, here's the rates, we'd like your approval to move on forward?
there are some things you're going to have to change due to the Affordable Care Act, AKA Obamacare. There's some things that we've got limits in because we copied the very, very old contract from 26 years ago, okay? Anything with an annual limitation has to be amended by the first of the year. So there's a list of those. The other things that we were going to look at addressing were maybe some of the issues that we had found when we were at the Sheriff's Department with the drug card. Okay, and I know Commissioner Fields had asked for us to look into adding the addition of a shingles preventive shot that would be available to folks over 60. So there's just a minor tweaking that we're going to, I don't think that we were going to suggest doing any major changes to the actual plan in that, for benefit co-insurance, unless y'all wanted to. We were really not thinking we were going to do that, but there will be some things that you will have to vote on and approve that we will have to have in that contract before we can renew.
Have we pretty much decided at the meetings we had throughout the summer as to whether we were going to change deductibles?
Yeah, I think those big ticket items we've already discussed.
That's about the retirees.
Yeah, that's why I was curious what was still remaining here.
Are we going to hold that off till next summer?
Well, they are included up to age 65 now, correct?
Well, I think the bigger question was when
Somebody retires early.
Retired early.
Yeah.
How the coverage is going to pay.
Yeah, the renewal we have is just like it is today. So we've not done any tweaking on that regard because you haven't told us to tweak. So it's just exactly the way it is now because we had no direction on that.
Well, I definitely want to discuss that issue some more.
Okay?
Because I'm not interested in that continuing indefinitely. I think we need to start reeling that in.
Well, the proposal you have at this point is just exactly like what the current plan is. So that would be, I guess, one of the things that y'all would need to decide and tell us what to do next week.
Okay.
But
Well,
like
it-
I said, Steve is leaving for Brazil for 2 weeks, so I really wanted to...
And you want to have this done before he gets back?
Or at least the conversation of what to do before he leaves. Christy and I were hopefully not being too premature, but we were hoping to get enrollment done in mid-November.
I understand.
We have to start taking out in December, like the life insurance and any of the other, we have to start taking premiums out December or January. So really, by December, first part of December, we need to have all of this taken care of.
And I've actually already talked to Ron Fisher, and I told him to be on standby for 3 days in the middle of November. What was it, like the 8th? So we've already actually put this on y'all didn't know this, but so we all know where we're going to be, and so nobody's booked over those days. We have tentatively booked those days for enrollment. So that's
Let's go ahead and schedule this workshop. If I feel like there's something here that I don't feel comfortable moving forward without talking to Commissioner Riddle, then I'm going to bump
He could
it.
be available?
He's on vacation
Oh.
for next week.
Okay.
And I'm not going to ask him to change that for this, because I do feel like these are going to be relatively minor talking points. But if something were to come up, I might want to schedule a meeting while Steve's gone, and we can
Correct.
have
And
the bulk of the discussion over and done with, and you can come back and we
That's
can
not a
make the final
problem.
vote.
I just wanted him at that first initial one because, just to kind of get the ball rolling while he's gone. But I believe he's gone, he's back either the 21st or 24th, or I'm not sure. So he's back before the end of October, which would still, I think, give us enough time to get everything settled out before this
Okay.
enrollment date.
Okay. All right, we'll plan on putting together an agenda for next Thursday, so we'll want to post something
And that is
Monday, and I'll
9:30,
get
correct,
with you on the
on
wording
Thursday?
on that.
9:30.
Okay. Commissioner Riddle, are you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I think we're done. Anybody else?
I'd like to make a statement.
Sure.
Been a lot of confusion, a lot of talk about my opposing pay raises. Let me point out something. In the counties from 25 to 39,000 population, we have the #1 highest paid elected officials in the state of Texas. We have the lowest paid hourly people in probably counties that size in the state of Texas. We're right on the bottom. So my objection is not to give, these people need a raise. These $10, $12, $11 per hour raise. And I put in my thing, any making less than $12 an hour, we should be considered to giving them a raise. So I'm not opposed to raising, but I'm opposed to the fact that we pay ourselves, our elected officials, such a high salary with the best insurance in the United States and the best retirement plan that we're able to get, the highest priced one, and we make the taxpayers pay this, and yet we want to add the rate to the taxpayers. We don't want to sacrifice. We got the lowest on the working end, on the elected end, administrative ends, we got the highest paid in the state. We can look at any department almost in the thing, and I put out a list of average pay and without the elected officials. And it's just amazing to me that we can put the tax rate and raise the tax rate on the people making a heck of a lot less money than we are, and we can't take care of our lower paid people. To say that I'm opposed to raises is absolutely untrue, and anybody that knows me knows that that's not true. These people deserve and need a raise, and I'm for it. I'm not talking about the $40,000 people. I'm not talking about the $38,000. I'm talking about the 20,000, 25,000 people. And so I just wanted to clarify that, because there's been a lot of confusion.
All right. Thank you. Any commissioners have any comments?
None, Judge.
All right, I'm open to a motion. Motion by Commissioner Fields to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hinton. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, thanks, everyone. 10:30 next Thursday. 10:30 next Thursday, we'll post that meeting. I'm sorry, 9:30. 9:30.